What's up, guys? Man Cave Collectibles coming back at you today with another review. Today we're going to take a look at the Marvel Premiere Collection Magneto. So this is their 1/6 scale Magneto. This is their take on a kind of a classic version of Magneto, and we're going to take a good hard in-depth look at the statue. We're also going to do some size comparisons, as I know there's always some debate out there as far as the Marvel Premiere line as compared to, you know, a Kotobukiya line or some of the older Bowen design statues, and kind of where the 1/6 scale Premiere statues stack up with those lines. So we'll do some real in-depth look at that. We'll bring out some statues from both those lines. We're going to put a measuring tape on them. We're going to see how this stacks up there, because I really like this line, and I'm really hoping that they're going to continue to fit in with my Kotobukiya and Bowen design statues. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The box was so big I wasn't able to really put it on my review table. So I've got a few pictures we'll throw up here of the front and back of the box. Basically just product shots on both the front and the back. You are going to have a little write-up on Magneto there, kind of his history, talking about when he grew up as a kid and met Charles Xavier. It's got a little history there, so you can pause it if you want to read over that little biography there that they put on the back. Nice box, the typical box for Marvel Premiere. Now jumping on into our statue that we have here in front of us. So we'll start with the design of the statue. So I believe the design is excellent. Starting with the base down here, we've got, you know, what appears to be you know, his classic force field, as if he's constructing that force field. It's coming up. It's kind of neat how they actually made it appear as though it's, you know, sinking down into the ground, and it's actually pulling in some of the rocks as well into the force field. So it's a really cool design that they've done as far as that. The rocks look excellent. Lots of detail, paint work. They've got some whitewash on them to kind of give them a real nice natural look. They even have a little bit of kind of a dirt paint wash in the grooves and the cracks on them. So it really adds to the detail. So I really like this base. Now, how is he floating? If you look, we can see that, you know, his feet are not actually touching the rock itself. So what they've done is that they have the cape connected to the rocks. So that's actually what is keeping him floating. And you can see that a lot better from here. So it's these 3 points, here, here, and here, that are actually keeping him floating up above those rocks. And so that's a really nice look. I really like how they decided to do that with this one. Super cool. As far as moving up the design, they certainly kept a classic Magneto style in the way of their design for him. We've got his purple and red costume, which has pretty much been around since his original appearance, dating all the way back to 1963 on the cover of X-Men #1. We also can see that force field that he's beginning to construct there on the cover. We can see that here in our statue. So we continue to work our way up the statue. When we get up to the head here, we have options. And those options are multiple heads. So the head you can see we have on him is the classic Magneto head with his helmet that shields him from psychic influence from, you know, Xavier, Jean Grey, whoever he's battling at the time. And the way you basically would change those out, you just pop this head out, and it has a small rubber O-ring kind of wrapped around the neck area there, or the peg that's going to go in the peg hole. And your new head would be this one. So we've got just that classic Magneto head with the white hair, real nice detail on the face, nice detail on those eyes, got the blue eyes in there. The paintwork is excellent, the sculpt is excellent. So that's your alternate head just to this one, which we'll go ahead and take a quick look since we do have it up close here. Looks really nice. So if you wanted to pop this head on, all you're going to do is just you push it down in and it lines up, and then you line up the neck. So the neck is sculpted a certain way, so you can turn it, but it breaks the sculpt. So there's just a certain way it would go, and you get the look you're going for. Now, my only, I guess, qualm with this statue would be in that neck area. I guess because of the way it's done, this head doesn't feel like it's going to pop out. See, I'm pulling on it there and it comes up there easy, but it doesn't pop out. It wouldn't fall out if I flipped the statue upside down, but it doesn't sit firmly in its seat there. Now, you're not typically going to be playing with the head of a statue, so when you're looking at it this way, it looks great. There's a slight bit of, cracking here between this, and I'll throw in a picture here that kind of shows that a little more up close. But that would really be my only qualm with this statue. Otherwise, they've done a great job. So as far as design, that kind of covers our design. I think they did a really good job on it. I'm very happy with it. We'll talk about paint. The paint on is excellent. They've done a really good job on this. Looking around the statue and checking out all the areas where you could have paint bleed. We don't typically have much. I mean, these are very crisp lines here, and between his underwear and his leggings here, down on the boots, crisp lines between that purple and red. Those would be colors that would show very well if we had much run over on them. But just really, overall, very good paint job. All right, so working our way into price. The price on this guy is going to run you between about $160 and $200. Again, I couldn't find him, in stock anywhere at your Big Bads or your Entertainment Earths, so I had to resort to eBay. $160, $200 for a 6-scale figure. In my opinion, that is a fantastic deal. When we look at, Bowen Designs when they were in business, Kotobukiya, you were paying $250 or more for a 1/6 scale statue, at least in that ballpark. You may have, a Kotobukiya may release something that's $239 or, but you're still in that 200 plus range pretty much always. So I believe for the price and the quality for what we're getting, the price is extremely fair, if not great. As far as the scale, so the scale is something, we've already talked about that a little bit. That's a debatable item, but we're going to try to put some of that debate to rest today. We're going to actually get out some tape measures and some other figures, and we're going to do some scale measuring, and we're going to see how does Marvel Premiere stack up. So we'll go ahead and move into that segment now and take a look. All right, guys, so we're going to start off here in our comparison with Cyclops from the Kotobukiya Danger Room line. So this is one of their 1/6 scale statues, one of my favorite. I love this statue. Definitely one of my favorites in my collection. This old Jim Lee Cyclops. So I chose him for a reason. He has more of a straighter leg that we can measure, and the torso. Magneto's legs are fairly straight, so it's going to give us the ability to actually measure these guys out and kind of see where they stack up. So if we come here and we go from the bottom of the leg there, we're running at about 6.5 inches. And then from that same point, we've got about 4.5 additional inches there. So, your 6.5 was, we got 11 inches. We got 6.5 inches plus 4.5 inches. That puts us, he's about 11 inches tall. He would probably be a little taller than that if he was truly standing straight up, probably more in that 12-inch range. But we want to take a look at Magneto. And with Magneto, we'll go up to the torso. So we'll just go from there to here. It's a pretty straight line. That's 8 inches. And then from 8 to the top of his head is about 4 additional inches there that you can see. So that's going to put him right at about 12 inches. So I think we can really see by having these two beside each other, they're going to scale perfect together. They're almost the same size. I would say Cyclops is a tad thicker maybe, but as far as the size, the height, there's basically no difference. As we said, Cyclops is measuring at 11 inches, but if he were as straight as Magneto is here in his statue, I think we would see that they're about the exact same height, with Cyclops being a tad, and I mean a tad, bit more beefy as far as his musculature. But that, to me, would almost seem more accurate as well. If you look at the comic book, Cyclops typically is a more muscular character than a Magneto would be. Let's jump on into another one. Okay, guys, so next up, we've got a Bowen Design Cable statue. So this is from the now, I guess, closed Bowen Design, which is disappointing. They, to me, were one of my all-time favorite statue companies. My first statues that I ever bought were pretty much all of them, and then I started merging over into the Kotobukiya line as well, and then Bowen Designs disappeared on us. So this is the Cable from that line. Let's take a look at Cable. So we remember Magneto measured about 12 inches in height. Let's look at the Cable statue here. So if we go from the bottom of Cable's foot to his, we'll just go to his waist here. We're right about 7 inches, if we can see that. And then we'll go from his waist to the top of his head. We're right under 5 inches, just a hair under 5 inches, 4 3/4 maybe. So that would put us at, 7 inches? And then our 4 3/4. So it would put us just a hair under 12 inches tall. So again, we're perfect scale here with Bowen Design from the Marvel Premiere Collection standpoint. So, you know, based on this, and I am a statue collector, that is my favorite thing to collect. I have plenty of them, all in the 1/6 scale statue, you know, measurements. I would say these two guys are perfect together. I would picture Cable being around the same size as Magneto as far as his bulk. Magneto and Cable are almost the same as from a bulk standpoint. So these look absolutely excellent together. So I hope that helps you guys out just a little bit as far as scale. I was concerned about the Premiere Collection line as I'd read some things online and some forums before I started collecting them that may not fit scale-wise with your other 1/6 scale statues. I think we're proving that wrong even here today with Magneto, and maybe a lot of the older Premiere Collection statues were done in a smaller scale, and if that's so, put it in the comments. I love to hear your guys' comments. I love to hear your thoughts and feedback. If I'm way off somewhere, show me something to prove me different. I'm certainly open to other people's opinions, and certainly if somebody can provide some facts, I would love to hear those. But I think today we've proven that the Premiere Collection is going to fit right in with your 1/6 scale statues. Scale-wise, they're going to look fine. You're not going to know the difference. And they are some nice quality statues that they're doing with that Marvel Premiere Collection. So again, leave your comments, leave your feedback. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, click like and subscribe. Got a lot more content on the way. Plenty of content to look at. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Until next time.